Let me tell you something most people never realize until it's too late. Money doesn't chase people who run after it. It follows those who become valuable. You see, too many people wake up every morning thinking, how can I make more money? But the ones who truly win in life ask, how can I make more impact? Money is like a shadow. It follows your value. If you keep chasing the shadow, it runs. But if you focus on walking your path with purpose, it follows naturally. So today I want to talk about 7 small habits that make money start chasing you. These aren't tricks or shortcuts. They're disciplines that build the kind of person money can't resist finding. Let me tell you something. The biggest difference between the people who struggle all their lives and the people who eventually make life chase them is not talent, not luck, not connections. It's their relationship with learning. The habit of learning something new every single day is the seed from which every other form of success grows. Most people misunderstand what learning really means. They think learning stops when school ends. They think a certificate or degree means they've completed their education. But let me tell you, that's the biggest trap the system ever built. School teaches you how to pass exams. Life teaches you how to pass failures. And if you stop learning after school, life will keep giving you the same painful lessons until you finally open your mind again. Every morning when you wake up, you face a choice. You can consume noise or you can consume knowledge. Most people open their phones, scroll through other people's lives, and fill their minds with comparison, gossip, and distractions. But the rare few who build empires, movements, and legacies, they open their minds before they open their apps. They study something useful, even if it's small. They listen to podcasts, read a few pages of a good book, watch interviews with people who have walked the path they wish to take. They feed their brain with what fuels progress, not what drains potential. Learning is not just reading, it's observing. Every person you meet knows something you don't. Every mistake you make hides a lesson you need. Every failure is an unpaid teacher that gives you truth for free. But only if you're humble enough to listen. The problem is, most people don't want lessons, they want shortcuts. They want motivation without mastery. They want success without study. But you cannot rise above what you refuse to understand. Let me share something personal. Success does not come from intelligence. It comes from curiosity. Curiosity is what keeps you alive in business, in creativity, in leadership. The moment you think you know everything, that's the moment you start dying slowly. Because the world changes every single day, and the moment you stop learning, the world quietly walks ahead and leaves you behind. Think about this. The richest minds on this planet still spend hours reading, studying, listening, asking questions. Why? Because they understand that knowledge is compound interest for the mind. It multiplies. It grows silently, and then one day it explodes in opportunity. Every book you read, every conversation you pay attention to, every failure you analyze, they stack, they don't vanish. They build the invisible muscle of wisdom that money naturally follows. Do you know why money chases people who keep learning? Because learning sharpens your judgment, and judgment, not luck, is what makes you wealthy. When you learn daily, you start seeing things others can't. You start predicting trends before they happen. You make better decisions because your mind is trained to think clearly. People will pay you for that clarity. Companies will hire you for that insight. Investors will trust you with that vision. And suddenly, without chasing money, money starts chasing you. But let's be honest, building this habit is not easy. You won't always feel motivated to learn. There will be days when you're tired, days when you feel like there's no point. But discipline is born when motivation disappears. So even on the hard days, feed your mind something good, even if it's just for 10 minutes. Read one paragraph, listen to one wise voice, watch one meaningful video, because consistency beats intensity. What you do every day matters more than what you do occasionally. And here's the secret, you don't need to learn for hours. You just need to make it a reflex, something you do without forcing yourself. Learn while commuting. Learn while eating. Learn while waiting. Use the dead time in your day to bring your future alive. The people who get ahead are not the ones who have more time, they're the ones who use time better. When you develop the habit of daily learning, you become like a magnet for ideas. Opportunities start finding you because your brain starts connecting dots others can't see. You begin to speak differently, think differently, even walk differently. You start becoming a person of substance, someone people want to follow, invest in, and learn from. And that's when the world starts opening its doors to you. I've seen it again and again. People who commit to learning one thing every single day transform completely in 1 year. They go from being ignored to being respected, from being average to being admired. Why? Because learning changes your inner world before it changes your outer world. It builds confidence that can't be faked. When you know you've invested in your growth, you no longer need validation. You no longer fear competition. You no longer worry about losing money because you've built something far more valuable than money, a growing mind. You can lose a job, you can lose a business, you can lose an opportunity. But if you never stop learning, you can rebuild everything again. That's the difference between temporary success and permanent power. A mind that grows daily is unstoppable, unshakable, and unforgettable. So I challenge you. Before you go to bed tonight, ask yourself one question. What did I learn today that made me a little wiser, a little sharper, a little stronger? If you can answer that question every night for 1 year, your life will not be the same. Money will start noticing you. Opportunities will start circling you. People will start seeking your presence. And you will realize that you no longer need to chase success because you have become the kind of person success cannot ignore. Learning is not a phase, it's a lifelong partnership with progress. The more you feed it, the more it feeds you back with confidence, with opportunities, and eventually with wealth. So learn relentlessly, learn curiously, learn humbly. And soon, you'll find that money doesn't just chase you. It follows you everywhere you go because you've become the kind of mind it was always looking for. There is something extraordinary about the hours before the world wakes up. That silent space before the noise, before the messages, before the distractions. That's where powerful people are made. The truth is, most people want success, but they never create the time to meet it. They wake up rushing, reacting, running. They live their days like firefighters, constantly putting out emergencies they created by not preparing early enough. But the people who make life chase them, they start before the world demands anything from them. They rise early, not because it's fashionable, but because it's fundamental. When you wake up before the world does, you own something most people never experience: uninterrupted focus. There's no phone ringing, no notifications buzzing, no noise from the streets, no opinions trying to shape your mind. It's just you and your purpose staring at each other in silence. In those hours, your mind is clear, your energy is undivided, and your ideas are pure. That's when your best thoughts are born, when your greatest plans are formed, and when your inner strength grows quietly while everyone else sleeps. Most people think waking up early is about sleep deprivation. It's not. It's about self-respect. It's about saying to yourself, I am in control of my day, my habits, and my direction. When you choose to rise before the world, you are telling life that you are serious. And life rewards seriousness. It notices discipline, and it respects consistency. Success doesn't come to those who wait for the perfect timing. It comes to those who create time out of thin air. Let's be real, mornings are hard. The bed is warm. The body is tired. The world outside feels cold. But champions are not made in comfort. They are made in those exact moments when their body screams, stay, and their mind whispers, go. The difference between the average and the exceptional is not intelligence, not opportunity. It's the decision to do what others refuse to do. And most people refuse to wake up early. Imagine this: while the rest of the world sleeps for 1 more hour, you are already planning your day, writing your goals, learning something new, exercising your body, building your business, or developing your craft. Over time, those extra hours compound into results that look like miracles to others. They'll call you lucky, but they won't see the dawns you conquered alone. The quiet hours before sunrise are a gift. They are the time when you can talk to yourself without interruption, when you can ask, what do I truly want? What do I need to fix? What do I need to stop pretending about? You see, during the day, the world tells you what to think. In the morning, you decide who you're going to be. Success loves people who respect the morning. When you win the morning, you win the day. Every time you wake up before the world, you gain an invisible advantage. A mental edge that compounds over months and years. You start feeling different. You start thinking different. You start performing at a level others can't keep up with because while they were asleep, you were evolving. Some people say, but I'm not a morning person. That's not true. No one is born a morning person. You become one when your dreams become louder than your excuses. Waking up early isn't about your DNA, it's about your decision. You decide that your goals are worth more than comfort. You decide that discipline matters more than delay. And the moment you make that decision, everything changes. When you rise early, you start seeing how time truly works. You realize that time was never the problem, your priorities were. You start noticing how the world wastes entire mornings doing nothing meaningful. You start seeing how much more peace, focus, and creativity live in those early hours. The air feels cleaner, your thoughts feel sharper, your vision feels closer. That's the hour when ideas are born and destinies are built. The people who dominate in business, in art, in sports, in life, they don't wait for motivation to wake them up. They build habits that pull them out of bed. They know that if they master the morning, the day bends to their will. They understand that those extra 2 or 3 hours aren't just time, they are leverage. And in a world where everyone is competing, leverage is the hidden advantage that money follows. When you consistently wake up early, something inside you changes. You start developing a quiet confidence. You no longer chase time. Time starts serving you. You stop rushing and start leading. You move through your day with clarity because you've already faced yourself in the silence of the morning. You've already made your plans. You've already conquered your laziness. You've already done what 95% of people refuse to do. And slowly, life starts rewarding you. You start feeling ahead, not behind. You start finishing projects before deadlines. You start having energy when others feel drained. You begin to notice how opportunities start to appear, not because they suddenly exist, but because you're finally awake early enough to see them. Money, success, and respect are all attracted to people who move with purpose. And purpose needs time. That's what the morning gives you. Time that no one else owns. It's your secret training ground, your private advantage. Use it. Protect it. Guard it like a treasure chest. Because those hours will build you into someone money cannot ignore. There will be days when you fail. You'll hit snooze. You'll wake up late. You'll feel disappointed. That's okay. What matters is that you don't quit on yourself. Start again tomorrow. Start again every day if you must. The point is not perfection, it's persistence. Over time, your body adapts, your mind adjusts, and your spirit strengthens. Eventually, it stops being a struggle and becomes a part of who you are. You don't wake up early to impress anyone. You do it to become the kind of person success recognizes. When you start before everyone else, the world feels slower, calmer, and clearer. You stop chasing success and start attracting it because every morning you prove to yourself that you have control. Remember this: the sun rises for everyone, but only a few rise with it. Be one of them. Because while others are sleeping through their potential, you'll be awake building yours. And one day, when the results start showing, when money starts following your moves, when people start calling you lucky, you'll smile quietly. Because you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck. It was those early hours when no one was watching. It was those mornings when you fought your own comfort. It was those moments of discipline when the world was still dreaming. That's where greatness begins. That's where money starts noticing you. That's where life starts saying, you're ready. So don't wait for the perfect time to start. The perfect time is 5 a.m. The world may still be asleep, but your destiny isn't. If there's one skill that silently separates those who stay invisible from those who become unstoppable, it's the ability to speak with confidence, even when you're afraid. You see, the world doesn't reward silence, it rewards expression. You could be brilliant, talented, full of ideas that could change lives, but if you can't communicate them clearly, they die inside you. Words have power, not just to convince others, but to convince yourself that you belong where greatness lives. Most people are not silent because they have nothing to say. They are silent because they are afraid. Afraid of being judged, afraid of being wrong, afraid of being rejected. They rehearse perfect speeches in their heads, but never let them escape their mouths. And that fear slowly kills opportunity after opportunity until they start believing they're not meant for more. But the truth is, no one is born confident. Confidence is not in your blood, it's built in your behavior. It grows every time you open your mouth when fear tells you to stay quiet. Think about it. Every great leader, every successful entrepreneur, every visionary we admire, they weren't born fearless speakers. They were ordinary people who started speaking even when their voice trembled. They didn't wait to feel ready. They practiced until they became ready. The biggest lie you can tell yourself is, I'll speak up when I feel confident. No, you'll feel confident after you start speaking. Confidence is built through exposure. The first time you speak in front of people, your heart races, your palms sweat, your voice cracks. That's normal. But the second time, it shakes a little less. The third time, you feel stronger. By the 10th time, people will call you a natural, but only because they didn't see the 10,000 heartbeats it took to get there. That's how life works. The world claps for results, but forgets the fear behind them. Learning to speak with confidence is not about performing, it's about connecting. It's about learning how to make people feel what you're saying. Because people don't remember perfect words, they remember genuine ones. Don't try to sound impressive, try to sound real. Speak like a human being who believes what they're saying. Speak from experience, from pain, from truth. People trust authenticity far more than articulation. But here's the key. To speak with confidence, you must first speak to yourself with confidence. You can't inspire others with a voice that doubts itself. If every time you speak, your inner voice whispers, you're not good enough, you've already lost before you start. So change your inner dialogue. Replace, what if they don't like me? With, what if this helps someone today? Replace, what if I fail? With, what if I finally break through? Confidence doesn't start on stage. It starts in your head. Every word you say should come from a place of belief. And belief is not built overnight. It's built through preparation. When you prepare, your confidence grows naturally. You don't fear being asked questions because you know your foundation is strong. Preparation gives you calmness. Calmness gives you clarity, and clarity gives you control. So, before you walk into a meeting, a presentation, or a conversation, prepare not to impress, but to express. I've seen countless talented people who never rise simply because they never speak up. They wait for the perfect opportunity, but life doesn't hand you a microphone. You have to create your own. Opportunities come disguised as conversations. A chance meeting, a small idea shared, a moment when someone asks your opinion. Those are your stages. And if you stay silent in those small moments, don't expect to be called for the big ones. Speak up when it's uncomfortable, because that's how you train courage. Confidence also comes from contribution. When your focus shifts from, what will people think of me, to how can I serve these people, fear loses its grip. The moment you speak to add value instead of seeking validation, your nervousness transforms into energy. You no longer worry about judgment because you're too busy delivering meaning. You stop performing and you start connecting. Don't try to mimic other speakers. Don't copy someone else's voice, their gestures, their tone. Find your own rhythm, your own truth. The world doesn't need another perfect speaker. It needs someone real. Your story, your struggle, your lessons. They're your most powerful tools. People listen when they feel seen in your words. So, when you speak, let your scars show. Let your experiences breathe through your sentences. That's what makes your voice magnetic. Now, let's be honest. You will be criticized. The louder you speak, the more opinions you'll attract. But criticism is proof that you're being heard. Silence never gets criticized. Don't fear being misunderstood. Fear being forgotten. If everyone agrees with you, you're not saying anything meaningful. Confidence is not arrogance. It's quiet certainty that what you have to say matters, even if not everyone likes it. The more you speak, the more the world remembers you. Words create presence. They make people notice you, remember you, and associate you with strength. And when people start associating you with clarity, with influence, with conviction, opportunities start finding you. Money follows influence, and influence is born in communication. You can be brilliant, but if you can't express your brilliance, the world can't reward it. So practice every single day. Talk to strangers.